Bitcoin, technical analysis, and macroeconomic fundamentals. By the end of this stream, you'll have everything you need to know about Bitcoin before anyone else does. Guaranteed. Well, I'm almost embarrassed to say, but last night, I watched the Pagan Ritual Super Bowl last night. It was bizarre because it was like a window into the real life of a normie. You know, seeing the fans, seeing the pomp and circumstance, seeing all the commercials. Like the commercials were nauseating because we were getting it from miscellaneous streams. And then one would shut down and we'd go to another one. So we were subject to all types of markets and commercials, and they were so nauseating. I thought that most of the commercials were SNL, like parody ads. I could not believe how ridiculous the commercials were. I thought, this has got to be a parody, but they were all true. I was actually watching with some people. It was interesting because it was like real time normie action. They were saying, "Oh, they're going to show Trump and they're going to get booed." I'm like in my head, like they can't possibly think that, right? And I said, no. If they show Trump, they're going to get massive applause. It's going to probably you won't believe it. And sure enough, like within a couple seconds, they showed Trump, and of course, everyone erupted. It was so crazy. And they also said, "I wonder if they'll show Taylor Swift." And I said, "Well, they'll probably boo Taylor Swift because I think we're seeing like a pushback of this like celebrity worship type thing." No. People love Taylor Swift. They don't. A couple seconds later, they show Taylor Swift and everyone boos. And I mean, I would assume that most people watching this stream right now were like, yeah, obviously people would applaud Trump and obviously people would boo Taylor Swift. But I think when you live in a normie bubble, that is probably the complete opposite as to what you would naturally think. And this goes back to Friday when I said, it looks like the poll, 68% did watch the Super Bowl last night. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. What I said Friday was, "Good morning, Randy Hipper. Smash the likes," she says. What's going on here in these? Let's check in with these comments here. Smash the likes. What I said Friday about the greatest redemption and vindication arc that humanity's ever seen is, and I know that there's some people on this stream, which is fine. Everyone can have their opinion, doesn't matter. That is anti-Trump or anti-whatever. I just for your own enjoyment of life, try to disregard your personal taste and enjoy the greatest redemption and vindication arc we're ever going to see. We're ever going to see. Like this what's playing out in front of our eyes with Doge is incredible. Like, can you not in my wildest dreams, in my absolute wildest dreams, did I ever think auditing the Federal Reserve would ever, you remember the videos where this picture was like, "End the Fed," you know? I would we're all basically, we all understand what needs to happen. We all understand what we want to happen. But whether those two ever come to fruition is always seems like our needs and wants are fringy and underdogish, right? But when auditing the Federal Reserve is actually on the table, it's like I am in a simulation. I must be in a simulation if that's actually happening. And can you imagine if Ron Paul gets involved in something? Like, talk about a redemption arc. You know, he's been saying "end the Fed" for, I think, his whole career. You know, so we're talking about at least 50 years of him saying this. So for him to become a part of this it would blow my mind. So it's the polls changing, 61%, 60-40 with the Super Bowl. That kind of makes sense. I mean, what are we going to do? We're going to watch the Super Bowl. So yeah, the redemption arc, the vindication arc is going to be unbelievable if Rand Paul. Now, I'm such a skeptic when it comes to, how the government will play out, because are we getting hoodwinked again? Or are they seducing us? In the art of seduction, it always claims that no matter how happy, how strong, how talented, how skilled anyone is, how forthright their mental aptitude is, there's always a piece of them that can be seduced. And I think when it comes to the Bitcoin hodlers mentality and attitude, we can always be seduced by the promise of government corruption being thwarted and wrongs become rights. That's where we're always like, we'll always pick our ears when we hear that. And so I'm always aware that maybe I am being seduced by the exact thing that I need to hear. I need to hear this, or else maybe we'll tune out. Like they've got it so dialed in now that it's unbelievable. But again, you have to maybe just suspend your dislike, your hatred, your whatever for whatever Rand Paul, right? Yeah. And just enjoy this vindication and this vindication redemption arc. We may never see it. Like, hopefully it gets Carl Elder. Oh, don't even have my piano on. What's going on here? Everyone in the boutique community needs to try to get to Vegas Bitcoin conference. Wix. Wix wife. Yeah, I think they made the decision last year that they weren't going to come to the Vegas Bitcoin conference. I believe right now we are in what I was about to say legacy analyst, but I don't think anyone's talking about this right now. I think we're in the financial eye of the storm, which, take a look at this price action. If you weren't tired of last week's price action, we literally are at the same bloody price we were when we closed Friday. So yeah, it just kind of fluttered with if price action were streamers on an air conditioner, in some one studio bedroom apartment in the basement in Venice Beach or something, it would just be like this, barely moving. That's what it is. We went down. We tested our channel of eternal monotony's support line, which is the 78.6% fib. So the fibs are lining up. This is why we're in a natural state of nothingness, because we are just bouncing from fibs and support. Nothing happening, nothing out of the ordinary. Now, there are some huge things coming out this week. Let's take a look at it. Today, we have the second edition of Trump's tariffs, and that's going to spook the market. Right? It's going to spook the market, but we'll always mean revert. Tuesday, we got Jerome Powell and Jerry Pow. We'll be talking. That always spooks the market, but then we'll mean revert. And then I think Wednesday. So this is the good news, bad news. I think Wednesday we will see some volatility that will move the legs up. We will take a leg up, hopefully. Maybe a leg down, but we're going to spook the market Wednesday enough with the CPI inflation. It's going to be a decent amount of information, because really right now, all it takes is a little bit of information to move the market. There is really Michael Saylor buys again. And what does the market do? Nothing. So there's talk that the whales are distributing all their Bitcoins. And to me, that's always a little bit scary, because what do they know? Well, I always talk about pro traders. The real pro traders are the whales. For some reason, they have a better pulse on what's happening with the Bitcoin market than anyone. Your best trader doesn't know as much as these whales. And then the PPI inflation on Thursday, retail sales that doesn't really matter. And so that's going to move the market, and that's it. That's all we can really hope for this week, because nothing's really moving. You think about the amount of Bitcoin that Michael Saylor bought was equally met with a seller, right? And of course, what do? They do it OTC, so it doesn't really affect the market. over on the Ding Dong. If you needed, tell me that we're in a crab market without telling me. Look at this. Look at these candles. I don't think I've seen that in a long time. These are Xanadudian equilibrium channels of nothingness. This is crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4 days of razor thin. That's razor thin. I mean, the bad news is that it was all beneath our channel of eternal monotony. Now we're peeking about our head. We got over 98K, which had a collective Bitcoin market. 98K. Yeah. Well, let me know when it's 108K. I'm going to go back to bed. Everyone goes back to bed. Really, we need to get above this channel of ascension's support now acting as resistance, which would be today, for instance, 99.8. So it's essentially 100K. 100K is our next level of min bullishness. Min bull is 100K. And even if we hit 100K, no one will really be excited. It'll feel like more like that vindication redemption arc we're talking about. It's like, yeah, it should be at 100K. It should be at 150K. So the fact that it isn't, who cares? Don't tell me about 100K. Well, 100K is our min bull. You can see it'll be met with the headwinds, the 20 moving average. So to be under the 20 on the daily kind of says it all. If you ever need to know where you are, take a look at the daily. Are you above or below the 20 moving average? It's that simple. Right now we're underneath the 50 as well, which says it all. Now, if you really want to get bearish, if you really want to know where you is, are you above or below the 200 moving average? And we're healthy. Did I just summon the 200 moving average into our timeline simulation? I hope not, because this would not be crazy. Brendan did not watch the Super Bowl, or 60-40 with the Super Bowl, which makes sense. Would it be crazy to drop down to the 200 one last time before the next? We are in, when I mean we're in the eye of the financial storm, we got into the eye through November, December's pump. I think around the end of December, we got into the eye and it was just like silence. And now we've been in the eye of the storm waiting to exit it. And that exit, now I was kind of having this wild, well, look at how off that is. Come on, paanomattyb. You got yourself a streamer. You can't even put this chart right. I was having this wild theory that wouldn't it be crazy if this 2025 bull run, we saw the opposite of sell in May and walk away? Because we know that the market loves to wreck people, and as predictive as the Bitcoin market is, and that's why most people don't understand it, because it's just so simple, right? They can't accept that. What do you mean it's a 4-hour cycle or a 4-year cycle? Well, it can't be. That doesn't make sense. It can't always go into a bear market and always have a bull run. Well, yeah, so far that's what we have, 4 data points to measure that, and so far that's what it's happened. But I could almost see the sell in May and walk away being the ultimate wreckage of anyone who dares to follow that narrative. And I mean, it's pretty popular, and most people are always trying to increase their gains somehow, right? Which I get. Now, the best way to increase your gains is just to hold on to your Bitcoin. I know a lot of traders at the squash club, and I use the trader. They're not traders; they're financial advisors. They get their marching orders and they tell their clients what they're gonna do. But they're always talking about trading, and I know like it's weird that they'll lie to me, right? I guess they just assume that I don't know anything, which is fine. I like to listen to conversations with people that think I don't know anything. I suppose you do too. You get caught in those conversations where people are talking. They may not know anything about you, and they're just telling lies because they think no one's around. I've been there for a long time to listen to them. They tell me about their gains they make trading and what they're going to do and the stocks they're looking at. I'm like, oh my God, this is insanity that these people are actually employed. And what makes it more sad is that they're trusted, right? These people are trusted. They're so trusted that they kept people out of A, MicroStrategy, and B, IBIT. You know, that was their only normie exposure to Bitcoin was those two vehicles. I mean, you know, the majority of normies are not going to buy a ledger, you know, self-custody. That is down the road of the Bitcoiners' evolution. It takes a while to get there. And until then, people are probably going to stay out of the market. But you see these trusted financial advisors not telling them to get in. You know, and a lot of them, when I would ask them, this is back like last year when it was just getting rolling, I would ask them if they have any exposure. They're like, oh, yeah, we got exposure to IBIT for sure. Well, are you telling your clients? Well, you know, we tell our clients if they ask. Okay, well, this is the reason why I always say don't. Well, I say don't trust financial advisors because this is where I go wrong. Most people don't have the time to watch the markets and understand the markets, and they're made intentionally complicated to keep you out. They don't want anyone knowing about how money works, right? That's right. Financial advisors need trailers, they're called. No matter win or lose, they're taking points off your investments. And most of them, for instance, I had a conversation with a normie about a week ago telling me about how happy he is with his retirement fund that went up 12%. And he told me this with the biggest smile on his face, like it was unbelievable. I didn't say anything. You can imagine how hard it was for me to not say anything. But he's like, it went up 12%. And he was like, stick that in your Bitcoin pipe and try to smoke it, right? That's what he was trying to get at, the comparison between the legacy TardFi going up 12%. I'm like, oh my God, just keep cool. Keep cool. You don't have to tell this person what's what. You don't have to straighten him out. There's no need. What are you going to do? You're going to ruin his day? He's thinking he made 12%. He doesn't need to know about debasement. He doesn't need to know about inflation. He doesn't need to know about these things. Just let him have his win. What is it? Is it just, why do I feel the need to ruin this person's day? So you're not going to believe it, but I kept my mouth shut. Now, did I do him a favor? I don't know. At the end of the day, I mean, are you going to really course correct someone that's been in the weeds their whole life, right? 12% is 12%. They don't need to know up against what. You know, that's for the next level evolution of Bitcoiners. Right? We know what's what. Now, we always have to keep in mind of this MACD bearish cross. I said yesterday or Friday that we've had in the 2021 bull run, we did have 2 weekly bearish crosses. Now, the first one was when we had the first peak. I guess we'll take a look at that again, just so we know what we're going here. Where is that price action? Oh, there it is. Oh, that's not it. That's still the price action of this one. Let's get back here. So you can see here our first peak way back, 60K. And then we had the bearish cross. Oh, you can't see that. There you go. And then we had this mid-bull. Was this walk away in May? Yes, it was. May 10th. May 10th. Sell in May, walk away. And if you did, you were super lucky. I bet most didn't. Maybe the whales did. You know, they probably know more. And then right around here, we started to pump up again. And now we got here. Look how fast. Within 3 weeks across bearish again. That's massive selling for a weekly MACD to cross bearish within 3 weeks. And that was it. That was it for the bull market. And we spent about 6 to 9 months in denial that we were that the bull market was over. Everyone thought we were going to 100K. Because the thing is, it's like a Hansel and Gretel novel, really. We are enticed by these breadcrumbs of hope that keep us in the market, right? And end up round tripping most people because, I thought the strategic Bitcoin, I thought that we were going to get this, but whatever, and 2021 it was the Eat Spot ETF. The Spot ETF's coming, everyone. Just put your helmets on and your knee pads. This will weather the storm. And sure enough, it never came until this arguably started this bull run once that happened. So maybe strategic Bitcoin reserve is the Hansel and Gretel crumbs leading us back to the witch's oven. We closed bearish. We closed red last week. But it was a spinning cross candle. These are candles of indecision, which to me, if I was to take this cup half full, I would say this is an indicator that we bottomed to a certain point. It means we found equilibrium with the bears and the bulls. No one knew what they wanted to do. Hey, we're bullish. Well, we're bearish. Let's just meet in the middle and call it a day. And that's what happened. So this is an interesting week. We don't want to see 3 red candles in a row on the weekly. It's not a good look for the bull market. Now you can see over in the summer bummer, we had 4 in a row. So our record was 4 in a row, and that was an 8-month summer bummer. Now, do we have 8 months in front of us to sit here in this channel of ascension, which is essentially the bull flag's flag? What is 8 months from now? What is it? February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Yeah. It would take us to arguably Pumpvember. No. Yeah. October and Pumpvember. We're currently in Deaduary. So it would make sense to, but I would be way surprised if we didn't see another leg up before April, May. There's a ton of things that are going to move us in that direction, but it seems like we're almost, and I don't want to jinx anything, but we're almost moving into the reversal world, which is an indicator of the bear market, so to speak, in the sense that bullishness, bullish fundamentals tank the market. They're not lifting it. So we can see, we're hearing all the bullish things in the world, but despite Scotch on the Rocks, Booze Breath, Jerry Pow Pow's hawkish take on the economy, everything else is as bullish as it's ever been. Like, we're talking about, what is it, 21 states have filed for a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Like, that's the strategic Bitcoin reserve porn. Don't get me wrong. Like, we're all kind of hanging our hats on this. It's like, if that doesn't happen, what's going to move the market in the way that we need to get to 150, 200, 250, 300, right? Nothing. There's no amount of retail that's going to come in. I almost feel like the retail aspect of Bitcoin, it may be over. They might catch a wick here or there, at the end of runs. Bitcoin, and then they'll, the pro traders will be like, it's time to sell, and they'll sell, and then it'll go back out. Why do I listen to these people, right? So that is one of the, I would hate to see, at the end of the day, I would hate to see a red candle after this week, because it would be whatever sentiments left in this big old Bitcoin bull run would essentially be over, and that's fine, because one of my other theories is that we need to decimate sentiment before we go up. This is how markets work. They don't listen to sentiment. Everyone's bullish. Okay, let's pump. They listen to sentiment to see where everyone is. How disappointed are people? How down in the dumps are people? How depressed are people about this price action? Vary? Well, how vary? Are we talking 80%? Yeah, it's 82%. Not enough. Okay, well, how is it now? Is it 90%? Yeah, it's 90%. Not enough. It's got to almost be 100% before the market takes off, because it wants to bring as few people with them as possible. That's why I can never reiterate enough. All you got to do, despite the Bitcoin cycle being so simple in 4 years, it gets more simple. All you have to do is nothing. Now, I know some people in my life who got in And of course, as noobs, brace go up, brace go down, brace go. So they're, the jittery up and down, right? And I always tell them, congratulations, you did the hardest thing you'll ever do, is get the fiat in. That's it. Now you do the simplest thing. You just sit here and hodl Bitcoin as it goes up in these cycles. That's it. You don't have to do anything. Why? Shouldn't we sell at the top? No. That top will be the bottom soon. And then what? Then you screwed yourself, right? You did the hard work. You got it in there. That's all you got to do. Now you sit and wait. It's as easy as that. This stream will take you right to the beautiful and vivacious Randy Hipper. Enjoy your day, everybody. I see a cup and handle pattern. I see a head and shoulders in the sky. I'm looking at the moving average, convergence, divergence, the MACD. Whatever that is, let's do some doodles, aka astrology for men. Let's do some doodles, aka astrology for men. I'm looking at a triple top. Looks like the RSI is overbought. It's carving out a spinning top candle. Sometimes they call them a doji. Whatever that means, let's do some doodles, aka astrology for men. Let's do some doodles, aka astrology for men. Market sentiment and liquidity, and I go pump and dump. Should I buy? Should I sell? Am I bull or am I a bear? Let's do some doodles, aka astrology for men. Let's do some doodles, aka astrology for men. All those kooky little lines, they're wasting my time, always messing with my head. Astrology